Implementation overview. How we set the evaluation. The first thing we ask you to do is identify two similar ability Year 3 classes. Using the What We're Teachers platform, you'll randomly allocate one to the intervention, one to the control. Both classes will then complete the pre-assessment spelling task. The intervention class will then use the spelling strategy, and the control class will continue as normal for the 6 weeks. And then both groups will complete the post-assessment task, which is the same as the pre. You'll then input the data into the What We're Teachers platform, press Analyze, and it will generate an impact report. So let's look through each of the steps. So step 1 is identify two similar ability classes to participate in the evaluation from the same year group. Step 2, identify 50 challenging words from the National Curriculum Guidance. These will be introduced by 10 new spellings a week over 5 weeks, and then select 20 of these words to use as a pre- and post-assessment task. Please note that the number of words depends on your school's expectation for the number of words taught per week. The minimum is 10 words per week, and this will create a list of 50 words for 5 weeks, with the final week being a consolidation. This may be more. Whilst we advise that you use DFE spellings, you can use different spellings if these are from your school's existing schemes of work and you follow the same process. So a minimum of 50 words are selected, with 20 of these being used for the pre- and post-assessment task. Step 3, using the trial wizard on the What We're Teachers platform, randomly assign the classes to the intervention and control group. Moving on to the implementation stage. So complete the pre-assessment spelling test with both the intervention and control groups, record the marks in the Excel tracker, and then input this into the pre-test on the trial wizard. As you're using class data, we advise that another teacher reads the scores out while you input this. It will speed up the process. Step 5, for the intervention class, deliver the targeted intervention. You use your professional judgment to decide the frequency, whether you do this daily or weekly, and log this in the process evaluation. The control group will continue as business as usual for the duration of the trial. And at the end of the 6 weeks, complete the post-assessment spelling test, which is the same one as the pre, to both the intervention and control groups. Record the marks in the Excel tracker and then input these into the post-test on the trial wizard. If you then complete the process evaluation survey and then press Analyze, it will generate an impact report for your school. So the intervention focuses on Year 3 pupils. It's delivered by a teacher and can be set as homework. You can decide the frequency. You just have to log this in the process evaluation, and each session will take approximately 10 minutes. The intervention is the Look, Say, Cover, Write check, which is a method of spelling where children study a word, say the word aloud clearly, pay attention to the spelling, cover it up with a piece of paper or their hand, write the spelling next to the original word, check their version to see if they got it right, and write the correct spelling again if necessary. So this version of the strategy emphasizes reading and saying the word aloud to help connect the written and spoken word. So how do you select the spellings? So the DFE National Curriculum includes guidance on the expected spellings for Year 3. Please use this to create a list of 50 words that you will select for the intervention. If you already have your spellings decided in your scheme and these align with the DFE, this is absolutely fine. Each week, the learners will practice a minimum of 10 new spellings using the Look, Say, Cover, Write spelling strategy. In the resource folder, you'll find a template that you could potentially use. You'll also find an assessment guidance sheet as well as frequently asked questions. You'll also see a tracking spreadsheet, and this allows you to link an anonymized student ID to a learner in your class. Logistical issues need to be considered before using a targeted spelling strategy as an intervention. Is there a suitable time for the delivery? If it's set for homework, can you use reminders? Resources do you need to print templates in advance? And will you link this to rewards? Logistical barriers are common in any intervention delivered in schools, so it's just important to consider these prior to starting. And finally, the assessment. The outcome measure is attainment as defined by the pre- and post-assessment spelling tests. The assessment is marked out of 20 and is the same for both the pre and the post. As both the control and the intervention groups receive the same assessment, familiarity with this will not bias the effect size. And final assessment guidance is, can you complete this under test conditions? Allow approximately 10 to 15 minutes for the assessment. Provide an example of a word and a sentence for each spelling. And can you record the pre and post assessment scores on your tracking spreadsheet and then input these into the platform? So that's the end of your guidance. The next thing to do is to download the research protocol, your resource folder, and then go to the Trial Wizard to start your trial.